guys, it's Cam and welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time stopping by, then welcome, and I really hope that you would join the Cam fam, my little beauty community here on YouTube, by hitting that subscribe button down below. And don't forget to hit the bell so that you don't miss any of my future videos. So today we're going to talk all about OLAPLEX No. 0. Now, I've had this baby for a while. I basically bought it as soon as it came out, but I didn't get around to testing it until a few months ago. So I've been foregoing my OLAPLEX No. 1 and 2 standalone treatments in favor of using this with the No. 3 to see what the full experience with the at-home products was like, and obviously to review this for you guys because y'all know I love OLAPLEX. And so if you've come to know me, you know I'm brutally honest in my reviews, and this review is going to be no different, I promise you. So I'm going to show you how I go about applying this, which is basically the same way that I would apply my No. 1, which I have right here. And speaking of No. 1, I'm actually going to show you guys a side-by-side comparison of the No. 0. Now, this is an empty bottle because I'm going to use the very last of it on camera for you. But I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison of this with the No. 1, the way that it would be diluted for a standalone treatment. So that way you guys can kind of visually see the difference. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss it. So if you want to see my full review of OLAPLEX No. 0, then just keep watching. Okay, so I figured that I would start this whole thing by kind of walking you through how I like to incorporate OLAPLEX 0 into my treatments. Now, I have like that much left, and I've gotten maybe like 6 or 7 treatments out of the bottle. My hair has been on the shorter side recently, and it's been getting finer and finer, so I haven't been needing to use a lot of the OLAPLEX 0, but I'm at the very end of the bottle, so this is going to last me for one more final treatment, which I wanted to show you guys. Now, obviously, the amount of treatments you get from the bottle is going to depend on your own hair length and hair density and all those things. So what I also want to do really quickly while I still have some of the product left in the bottle is a little experiment that I've been thinking about, because I've basically formed an opinion on how I feel about this already, but I want to do a little experiment to see if my thoughts sort of are going to be confirmed or not. So what I'm going to do is I actually have a bottle here of the OLAPLEX No. 1, and it's really orange, like undiluted by itself, it's super orange. Now, to do the standalone treatments like they do in the salon, they do dilute this with water. So what I want to do is create the mixture that they would use in the salon for the 1 and 2 treatment and actually compare the color to the OLAPLEX No. 0, because I know that the No. 3 and the No. 2 are basically like, you know, supposed to be the same thing. The No. 3 is just a watered down version of the No. 2. And from my previous research, I believe that the No. 2 has 15% of the bisamonopropyl diglycol demaliate. We'll just call it the OLAPLEX molecule because I'm not going to keep trying to pronounce that. So the No. 2 has 15% of the OLAPLEX molecule, where the No. 3, I believe, has 12%. So it's not that big of a difference. And in my own personal usage of both of them, I do feel like there isn't that big of a difference between using both of them. So I'm very curious just to visually see like the difference in the diluted OLAPLEX No. 1 with the OLAPLEX No. 0. So I'm going to measure out, I have a little like empty bottle here. I'm going to measure out my OLAPLEX No. 1. So I have my instructions here for how to do the standalone treatment, and it says to mix a ½ ounce of the No. 1 with 3 ounces of water, and they do say in a non-spraying bottle. So for both the OLAPLEX No. 1 and this OLAPLEX No. 0, there's a reason why they have it with this applicator bottle. So apparently if you spray it, there end up being some like vapors that aren't good for your throat and nose and stuff like that. So definitely don't try to like spray this. Use the applicator bottle that they gave you. And I actually really like this applicator tip as opposed to like my bottle. My bottle, it'll just kind of like shoot out uncontrollably, where with this, you can dispense it on your hair in a lot more of a controlled way. So once I'm done with this, I'm actually going to keep the bottle just to do my No. 1 standalone treatments. So I'm going to create the No. 1 formula according to their instructions. Now, when I do my own No. 1 and No. 2 standalone treatments, I actually don't follow their formula because First, it creates way too much liquid for me. And two, I feel like I'm using too much of the Olaplex and it ends up diluting a lot of the Olaplex. So I like to adjust it a lot for myself. And I talk more about like what I do with my standalone treatments and stuff like that in this video right here that I'm gonna link for you. But I'm just gonna do the instructions. So, okay, so I'm gonna do a 1/2 ounce of Olaplex, and that's basically like almost this whole measuring device that it comes with. All right, so I'm at the 1/2 ounce mark right there. That's a lot of Olaplex right there. All right, next I'm gonna add 3 ounces of water. Okay, so I have my super orange Olaplex mixture here, and I have 3 ounces of filtered water. So I'm gonna pour that in there. Yeah, okay. Let's discuss. Alrighty. So this is what my diluted Olaplex number 1 treatment looks like. And this label is like really big around it, but this is the color of Olaplex number 0. So this is quite a bit more yellow than this by like a lot more than I was expecting, actually. Now this bottle is a little bit frosted where this is completely clear, so that may like be affecting it, but I feel like you would see it if it was more yellow. And just looking at it from like my angle, this looks a lot more yellow than this. So that's kind of what I was thinking. So I'm just gonna like save this for next time and go ahead with applying the number 0 and showing you guys how I do that. Okay, so obviously today's my hair wash day, which is why I look like butt right now. So the first thing that I wanna do is comb out my hair, just brush it out with like a wet brush, really gently. As you can see, my ends are just like fried. And I've been trying to do like the number 0 and 3 treatments, maybe like once every couple weeks or so, with obviously like other regular treatments that I do sprinkled in between. But my ends are just not happy recently. Now, as like the days go by after you wash your hair, you'll notice your scalp getting oily and your ends drying out. And that's because they like need to be retreated. So that's completely normal for like ends to just look worse like 3 days after you wash your hair versus the day that you wash your hair. But you can obviously see my ends are in need of TLC. So I'm going to show you guys how my hair looks after all of this. So first thing I want to do is section my hair in 2 sections because it is a little bit difficult just to like get the hairs underneath to like get saturated. Now it does say on the bottle, saturate from root to tip, but they really like mean get the hair damp, not like super saturated, dripping wet. So that's kind of the consistency that I want to get my hair to. Now I really like the applicator bottle. I do feel like it could stand to like dispense a little more product with every squeeze, but it's definitely better than the other applicator bottles that I've used. So I'm just gonna try to get it all over my hair from root to tip. And the reason why I say I wish a little more product would come out is because sometimes when I'm applying it, I feel like by the time I've gotten to other sections, the previous sections already feel like dried out. See what I mean? Like this section already almost feels like it's dried out. Now I tend to go lighter on the underneath section because I feel like it doesn't get as damaged as like the very top of my hair. So now I'm gonna put that down and I'm trying to work quickly and speed this up for you guys as well. Again, I feel like my hair is drying out really fast, and I'm gonna discuss a little more about that later in my review portion of the video. So I have like some of it left that doesn't want to come out of the applicator, so I'm gonna have to like use my hands to get this through my hair. Okay, so my hair is pretty damp with it. So now what I like to do, I'm not gonna like brush it or comb it through or anything. Okay, so now what I like to do is just kind of wrap my hair into a bun and use hair clips to clip it up. Now you don't want to have your Olaplex dry out. This goes for the number 0, the number 3. This goes for like anything that's like one of their treatments, to probably even like the number 8. So I highly recommend getting like a shower cap. This is like a reversible one where one side is satin, the other side is like vinyl on the inside. So I'm gonna put this over my head so that way it just like keeps everything nice and moist in there. And what I like to do with it is keep it in for an hour before I apply my number 3, because I feel like the longer you leave it in your hair, the better, especially like on its own, whether it be the 0 or the number 1. So I like to do an hour with this and then put the number 3 on and an hour with that. So I'm gonna keep this in my hair for an hour, then go apply the number 3, leave that in for an hour as well, and then wash it out, and then come back and talk to you about my thoughts about Olaplex number 0 and just the opinion that I formed on it, having now an empty bottle of it, having used the whole thing over the past few months. And so yeah, I'll see you soon. Okay, so I'm back, and my hair right now is freshly blown out the way that I would normally do it in a lot of my videos. And if you want to see how I get my at-home blowout, then I'm going to link that for you up here. So let's talk about Olaplex number 0. Now I want to start with saying that I've been doing the number 1 and 2 standalone treatments for a couple years now, and I really feel like they've helped my hair. I love Olaplex. I really do believe that it works and that it restructures your hair bonds and all that stuff. But as you saw in the side-by-side comparison of the number 0 with the diluted number 1, it literally pales in comparison, like literally in color. It's so much paler. And I guess it wouldn't bother me so much if it wasn't for the fact that they're selling this, literally the ingredients are water, bis-aminopropyl diglycol demaliate, sodium benzoate, and phenoxyethanol, which those last 2 are just preservatives. So it's water and the Olaplex molecule. Unlike all their other products, like the number 3, even like the mask that came out, the number 6, all that stuff, those have other conditioning ingredients in them, so you're kind of buying like the full package. With this, you're buying this expecting to get just the Olaplex molecule. And like I said, especially having used the number 2 and the number 3 at different times, they're very, very interchangeable, and the difference is hardly noticeable between them. Whereas when I started using this instead of my Olaplex number 1 and 2 treatments, I felt like my hair got noticeably worse, and I'm just like really itching to get back to using 1 and 2 at this point. So I guess I'm just really disenchanted, because for this product to be just the Olaplex active ingredient, I feel like it really underdelivers, and they really should have put a lot more in it. Now, I'm one of those people who's a strong advocate for people being able to do salon treatments at home, and I don't feel like there's really a reason to withhold 1 and 2 from consumers, especially because the only thing that can really go wrong with applying it is if somebody like vaporizes it and sprays it into their hair, then that would be bad, but somebody can make the same mistake with this just as easily. So I just feel like selling a very, very watered down version of the number 1 to people at home just kind of doesn't make sense. And it's like, just give people the real product, even if it's expensive. And again, it's not a protein treatment. It's not something that can be overdone. You can't really overuse it, so I don't feel like there's a reason why people can't have the full strength Olaplex at home. Now, I've really tried giving this a chance. The bottle's empty, as you can see, and I've tried both like really saturating my hair with it, applying it more like I did today, which is the same way that I would really saturate my hair with the number 1. And I just never felt like it did anything extra with the number 3. It's like you might as well just use the number 3, and I don't really see the point of buying this. I really just feel like I bought $28 water. Again, don't get me wrong, I love Olaplex. I have sung their praises in a number of my videos and repurchased a lot of their products multiple times. If you want to see all the reviews on the Olaplex products I've done, I'm also going to link them for you because some of them have really become holy grail staples in my hair care routine. But sadly, this is not going to become one of them. I really hope that maybe one day in the future, Olaplex will reformulate this and make it more potent, because I really feel like it's a disservice to not give people at home the full benefits of Olaplex. And sure, like I understand watering it down a little bit, but I feel like that side-by-side comparison was really telling, where this is just like slightly more yellow than the color of water, whereas this is the color of the in-salon formula. So final verdict, I really don't think you should go out and buy this. If you already use number 3, great, you really don't need this. If you don't use number 3, go out and get just the number 3. All right, well, I hope you found this review helpful. If you did, then it would really help me out if you hit that like button down below. And I would really love to know in the comments what you guys think after seeing the side-by-side of the number 1 diluted and the number 0. So I'm really curious to see how you guys feel about it. And if you're wondering what to watch next, here's 2 more videos by me that you can check out. And then don't forget to click on my face to subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, my loves, and I'll see you in my next video. Mwah.